Library service in Midland was begun by a group of interested citizens chaired by Dr. F.A. Towsley. The library opened in March 1900 in a room in the old Unitarian Church on Ellsworth Street with a collection of 200 books and a budget of $7. Miss Mary Dow, a sister of the late Herbert H. Dow, was elected librarian. In 1915, the Library Association transferred control of the library to the Midland Board of Education, which supported the library with an annual grant of $350. A grant from the Carnegie Foundation was obtained in 1918 to finance construction of a new library as an addition to the community center. In 1919, the library was moved from the church to the new Carnegie Library building. By 1950, there were 2,000 registered patrons, and circulation had reached over 56,000 from the collection of 12,500 books and 86 periodicals. In that year, Mrs. Grace A. Dow, who served on the library board from 1911 until her death in 1953, announced an offer from the Dow Foundation to build a new library. The city gratefully accepted the offer, and Alden B. Dow designed the structure, which was completed in 1955. Upon its opening, the building was dedicated to Mrs. Dow. Although Mrs. Dow did not live to see it become a reality, her dream had been to present to the community a building which would serve as a center for the communication of ideas, not just in literature, but in history, art, music, drama, and education, by using not only books, but also films, theater presentations, and visiting speakers. No endowment was provided, for it was Mrs. Dow's strong conviction that the library should derive operating funds entirely from public support. The building originally included, in the basement area, a large exhibition hall and a local history room for the Midland County Historical Society. The children's room was located on the main floor in the area presently occupied by the Fine Arts Collection. When the Center for the Arts opened in 1971, additional area became available for library use. In 1974, the children's book collection, one of the finest in the state, was relocated to the former exhibition hall to accommodate growing needs. At the same time, a ramp was added at the entrance of the building for use by handicapped persons. In 1975, the City Department of Parks and Recreation moved into the former local history room. This area is now occupied by the City Data Processing Department. In 1955, when the library moved into the building, 12,000 Midlanders had library cards. Today, more than 40,000 persons are registered borrowers. In 1955, the collection stood at 60,000 items. Today, there are more than 200,000 items in the collection. In 1955, circulation was 195,000. Today, more than 675,000 items per year are circulated. Mrs. Dow's dream has been realized with an expansion in services that even she may not have visualized. In addition to the growing collection of adult and children's books covering all imaginable subjects, an ever-expanding audiovisual collection includes art prints, records, books on tape, videotape players and video cassettes, films, projectors, and instant print cameras. Special collections in the fine arts, Michigan history, genealogy, and large print materials are growing. Back issues of periodicals and newspapers are being replaced with microfilms for easier access and more efficient storage. Programs have been inaugurated to serve a variety of patrons in many interest areas. Adult services offer workshops on everything from tracing your family tree to making grapevine wreaths, vegetarian cooking to fashion for teens. There are a variety of exchanges, including coupons and jigsaw puzzles. In a special microcomputer room, there are 2 microcomputers with a variety of software now available to qualified patrons, as well as a typewriter for public use. Each year, the library, in conjunction with the Matrix Midland Festival, sponsors a writers' conference which attracts writers from all over the state. Joseph Heller, Norman Cousins, and Frank Herbert have been past keynote speakers. MCTV, Midland's cable television access channel, started broadcasting in November 1984. Within a short span of time, an interesting variety of locally produced and directed programs were made available to Garrity Cable subscribers. These programs include exercise classes, Italian lessons, coverage of community events and city council meetings. Over 100 people have signed up for training in television production techniques and to become friends of MCTV. Future services visualized at the library include access to commercial news and information databases via computers and an online public access computer catalog extending to regional and nationwide sources. Children's Services is a center of activity for all ages. You don't have to know how to read in order to use and enjoy the children's room. Friends of the library have provided strollers for patrons who prefer to select books in comfort. A film strip viewer entertains youngsters while their parents browse through the largest collection of children's books under one roof in the state of Michigan. This collection of over 60,000 titles serves toddlers through teens and even parents and other child care professionals. Programs and special events help attract a wide variety of patrons. There are daytime story hours for toddlers, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. A popular family bedtime story hour for ages 3 to 300 has become a Friday night tradition for Midland families. Battle of the Books, an annual reading competition, serves over 300 4th through 6th graders from county and city schools. Summer reading programs, monthly craft workshops, tours, and holiday story hours are all watched over by friendly creatures, large and small. The fine collection of these activities help young people become lifelong library patrons. The growing circulation and expanding services could not have been handled without adding additional staff had it not been for the automated circulation system installed in September of 1979. This system was developed in-house with the assistance of the City Data Processing Department. In addition to keeping track of the library's collection, compiling management statistics, and providing overdue notices, the system will allow the library to conduct its first complete inventory in several years. 1979, the library staff realized that the time had come to begin planning for more space. The original building, designed to hold 100,000 volumes and supplemented by storage for an additional 60,000 volumes in the new children's room, was being severely taxed for space. Consequently, a thorough study was completed which anticipated building needs through the year 2000. This comprehensive document was reviewed by Dow Associates and developed into a 3-phase addition plan. The first phase, which was completed in the spring of 1985, provided for a 3,000 square foot addition to the south side of the existing lobby. The second phase will provide for a 9,000 square foot addition to the northwest corner of the present building. This addition will enlarge and relocate the children's room on the lower level. On the main floor, stacks will be provided adjacent to the reading room to accommodate storage for an additional 20,000 volumes. On the upper level, space will be provided for the relocation and enlargement of the Fine Arts Room. The third phase will renovate 3,700 square feet in the southeastern corner of the building. The area presently occupied by the Fine Arts Room and the Children's Story Hour will be converted into an area housing special collections for concentrated study in genealogy and state and local history. Funding for detailed plans for the first phase were authorized by the Midland City Council in 1981. The engineering study for the initial phase of the building program was completed by Dow Howell Gilmore Associates in that year. A generous grant of $423,000, combined with $77,000 of funds from the City of Midland, allowed construction to begin on the first phase in the spring of 1984. The lobby addition was completed in March of 1985. On the main level, Phase 1 modifications address several areas. The redesign of the exterior passenger discharge and pickup area facilitates traffic flow and has relieved some of the congestion in the parking lot. The new automatic front doors and enlarged restrooms now provide access suitable for use by handicapped persons. The airlock in the new entry will conserve energy by significantly reducing heating and cooling losses. Relocation of the circulation desk into the new lobby permits better control of exiting patron traffic. An electronic security system discourages the unauthorized removal of library materials, a significant problem in the past. The new circulation desk is isolated from the main reading room, resulting in a quieter and more relaxed atmosphere for patrons doing study and research. The new circulation area streamlines workspace to allow for workflow, better patron service, and more efficient utilization of personnel. Some much-needed book stacks now occupy the area in the main reading room vacated by the circulation desk. Improvements on the lower level include a new conference room, restrooms conveniently located adjacent to the children's room, and a new door which provides magazine room and genealogy patrons with access to the photocopier in the lower level hallway. It is hoped the construction of the next phase of the building project can begin in 1987 or 1988. As the Grace A. Dow Memorial Library continues to grow, Mrs. Dow's dream will touch more Midland residents than perhaps even she could have imagined.